It's a new day. Yes, it is. And did they break up? Did they not? Oh boy, what a segment. Essentially, going into this New Day 10-year anniversary, we all thought there were two options. Number one was going to be the eventual split of the New Day. Maybe Kofi and Xavier Woods go rogue. One of them turns heel on each other and Big E. Or maybe Big E is the one that comes out, says he's going to be the New Day manager, gets them back together. And he did that. And then Kofi and Xavier Woods said, no, no, no. Big E, you did not have surgery on your broken neck the way that Kurt Angle, the way that Edge, the way that Stone Cold Steve Austin did. And they came back to the ring, albeit 9 years later in Edge's case, or whatever the case may be. You've been sitting there at your desk job, on the pre show, on the panel in WWE, talking about all of these storylines and all these matches, and you never cared to check in on us. And we've been losing and we've been fighting. And you know what we realized? When you went out for the New Day, we did not change when we should have changed because you were the muscle of the group, right? Big E was the talker, he was the outgoing, he was the muscle. And Kofi and Woods have different chemistry than, say, Big E and Woods or Big E and Kofi, and they needed to change. The New Day needed to adapt. It wasn't all about the power of positivity anymore because Big E was truly the power of positivity. And now a full New Day heel turn with New Day Sucks is back. This is something, in my opinion, the New Day desperately needed. And I don't think it's a hyperbole to say this, that the New Day has not felt the same since Big E suffered that horrific neck injury in March of 2022 by Rich Holland on that SmackDown. And that, if you think about it, prior to Big E's injury, Big E had obviously really broken out on his own on the Red Brand, and Kofi and Woods, they had some success as a tag team on Monday Night Raw, winning the Raw tag team titles. But really, for the New Days, first 5, 6 years in existence, it was mostly Big E and Kofi Kingston being in the tag team ranks, and them using the Freebird rule occasionally, and Woods would team with E. But until Big E went over to SmackDown and began his push as Intercontinental Champion, Kofi and Woods had never really teamed together, and Xavier Woods was almost like the manager for the group, and Big E and Kofi were the primary wrestlers. And obviously, one of the big things in the New Day was, yes, Kofi Mania did happen. And then a few years later, Big E did win the WWE Championship. And yes, Xavier Woods did win the King of the Ring. But as soon as Woods won the King of the Ring, he got stomped out by Roman Reigns, and there went his crown. And Xavier Woods has sort of been the guy that, has never won a single championship, very limited gold compared to the rest of the members of the New Day who have won Intercontinental and US and Tag Team and World Championship gold. So it only made sense from a storyline perspective to turn Woods. But when you think about the New Day, they are so beloved, it didn't make sense for them to necessarily turn heel on each other. So they did the logical thing and sort of turned heel on Big E because Kofi and Woods, as I already mentioned, they did make great points. And we all know that in the current WWE, I mean, look no further than this past Monday night on Raw. That opening scene and that main event with Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins and Jey Uso and CM Punk and the return of Drew McIntyre, every storyline is connected back to the tribal chief, the OTC Roman Reigns. And, Seth Rollins is mad at CM Punk because CM Punk intervened in his business with the bloodline. He teamed with Roman Reigns. He's mad at Sami Zayn because Sami Zayn not only teamed with Roman Reigns after backstabbing him in the back with a chair, but he teamed with CM Punk. He's mad at Jey Uso for teaming up with Roman Reigns and CM Punk. Drew McIntyre is mad at Sami Zayn for just teaming up with CM Punk, and he hates Seth Rollins. So again, everything is absorbed in sort of this bloodline thing that is carried over for years, and you can even look back at the potential fracture of the New Day that happened when Roman Reigns stomped Xavier Woods' his crown right into the mat. And so I'm very interested to see where the storyline goes. I think it'd be great if the New Day got the World Tag Team titles back. Of course, in order for that to happen, Finn Balor and JD McDonough would have to lose the titles to maybe a babyface team like an Otis and Akira Tozawa for the New Day then to take the titles from them. Of course, Balor and JD never defend the title because Balor's too obsessed with Damian Priest and the ring general right now. But could we see a spot where Big E returns in the Royal Rumble? Maybe there's a situation where he doesn't even have to be announced that he's back in the ring yet. Maybe there's a situation where Kofi Kingston gets thrown over the top rope and Big E catches him or something like that and then lays him down on the ground when they try to do the Kofi Kingston Royal Rumble spot that he always does, obviously. That's a scenario. I think we could see a Big E versus Kofi versus Xavier Woods. Maybe there's a little bit more fracture there with Kofi and Woods. We get the triple threat match at WrestleMania 41, and then after that, that's how they all reconcile, and we get the rebirth of the New Day. Because again, I took this as two storyline directions, and I thought WWE played it safe, and I thought they did it magical at the same time. I took it as if Big E does not come back, right, to be a wrestler, the New Day can still be heels. You sort of write Big E out of the New Day chapter. If Big E does not come back, to the ring, you just have Kofi and Woods go on their own. They beat these dastardly heels, and it's sort of New Day 2.0. But if Big E is clear to come back to the ring, and if he does come back at the Royal Rumble or WrestleMania 41 or whatever might have you, after 3 years away from that serious neck injury, that is not necessarily a breakup. It was, we're peeved off at you because you went away. And now Big E is going to have to work to mend fences with the New Day. Maybe he sees that they got the acting guys, they changed their attitude. Maybe Big E comes back as a heel with the New Day. Or, maybe they win the tag team titles and then lose it. And Big E has to come back and bring this group back together, says, I'm back now. I never abandoned you. Let me prove my loyalty to you. So that's what I saw with this. I don't think the New Day is necessarily over as a whole. I don't think it's broken up. I think they stuck to their words. They said they would never break up. This was almost a split. Uh, I do think, we've said way back in the day, I never thought Big E or Kofi or Woods would turn on each other. If they would, it would be a split situation like what happened in the draft where Big E went out on his own. If WWE had a third brand that wasn't developmental, maybe at one point you have Big E on a brand, Kofi on a brand, Xavier Woods on a brand, like they tried to do with Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and The Shield back in the day. That would be interesting to see. And then all three of them obviously come back together. I thought that would be an interesting story. But overall, to be relevant for 10 years and, to win all these different acting titles and the Booty-O cereals and the pancakes and the Francesca too, and the ability to evolve. As Big E said on Raw, him and Woods were almost fired. Kofi Kingston was contemplating retirement because he was getting his ass kicked so much after an early run with the Intercontinental US and Tag Team titles as a singles competitor mostly. So for these three mid-card guys who in sort of 2015, 2014 period were afterthoughts, to be able to form this group to re-energize their career, to have a feud with the likes of the Wyatt family, to have the match with the Shield, to have the feud with the Usos, maybe the greatest tag team feud in the history of the company. Incredible to what Big E, Kofi, and Woods did. And I don't think this is the last of the New Day. I think this is just the start of a new story. And we'll see, in the words of Cody Rhodes, if they can finish it. Like that clip from the Brands World podcast? If so, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button. While you're down there hitting the subscribe button, make sure to also hit the notification bell so you never miss another upload. And make sure you check out all the other clips from the Brands World podcast right here on YouTube.